Hello and welcome to the Musical Instrument Investigator. Today we're on the website of Tennants Auctioneers based in the UK. And we're going to have a look at their latest musical instrument auction. Now, just before we begin, I just want to say if you like these videos then please subscribe because it really helps the channel, and any comments would be much appreciated. So thank you in advance if you're able to help with that. So here we have Tennants Auctioneers based in the UK. They have this scientific and musical instrument auction. It's finishing on the 1st of February. We're on the 25th of January as I'm recording, so you've got a few days left to go. 22% buyer's premium, that's the amount that you pay on top of the hammer price. This is a UK based auction, so if you're bidding outside of the UK, check the terms and conditions, shipping, import, export, all of that lovely fun stuff. Now there's 193 lots in this auction, however there are only just about 50 or so that are musical instruments, so it's not going to take us too long because there's not many lots. I think we'll just go and look at everything really quickly, and we're just going to see if there's anything interesting. As always, just a really raw quick overview, just in one take, just see what we can find. So let's start off here. We have a viola here. It's got a handwritten maker's label, J.H. Longson, London, 1881, cased with a bow. 80 to 120 pounds is the estimate there. 15.5 inches length of back. And the bow, yeah, it looks like it could be an okay viola. Pictures are better now on Tennants than they have been in the past, so yeah, that looks potentially okay. It'd be good to see some other pictures, but that looks like potential. Another viola here, no label. Let's have a look at this one a bit more. This one looks like a bit more of a standard trade viola there, 80 to 120, and the bow as well. Nothing too crazy there. Another viola, there's a lot of violas here, labelled Archer Viola 500. This looks like a fairly tradey viola there as well. And the bow as well, it's nothing too crazy in a case. And the next one, another viola. Wow, it really is quite a lot of violas. Labelled A.D. Riddler, Sunderland, 1996. Okay, let's see if we can spot some of the details here. I mean, it's potential, could be what it says it is. 600 to 800 looks like they believe that it is as well. Quite a nice kind of slab cut back there. Looks fairly well made. Better pictures now on Tennants, so that's good. Yeah, that looks okay. That, wow, another viola. Labelled Rowan Armour Brown, made in Leamington, 1987. Bridge as well, certificate there, 1,000 to 1,500. I have not seen enough Rowan Armour Brown instruments to know if this is correct or not, but the estimate would lead me to think that people think that it is. This was quite a respected maker in that time that I believe kind of passed away fairly kind of early on in their career. So yeah, interesting looking viola there. Wow, more violas. Stentor Conservatoire viola, 100 to 150. Let's have a look at that. Okay, interesting. And another bow there, another viola. That's a bit strange. Oh, together with a 13-inch violin. Right, okay, that makes sense now. Okay, interesting. 100 to 150 there. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad for a viola, fairly large size. Violin with a bow. Okay, let's have a look at this in a bit more detail. 40 to 60. Looks fairly kind of tradey. Another violin, labelled Anton Schendel Mittenwald, 1829. It's quite a cool scroll there. It's quite interesting. Looks like a decent enough violin there. Okay, yeah, looks okay. 80 to 120, it's not bad. I'm really put off by their use of kind of imperial measurements. I'm way too used to reading metric at this point. Another violin here, no label. Looks fairly standard there. The violin here, cased with bow. Another standard kind of trade instrument there. Another violin with a bow. This also looks like, yeah, standard trade kind of violin. Another violin. Quite a good back on that. 100 to 200, that might be popular. It's quite figured. Has the kind of black around the chamfers. I wonder if it might be French or an attempt to be French. Another violin, no label. I think this is another trade instrument. 80 to 120. More violins. Maker's label. J.E. Harris, violin maker, Nile Street, Gateshead on Tyne, 1913. Let's have a look at that. Oh, interesting. Looks potentially believable there. Oh, quite nice back on that. 4 to 600. It's quite a nice looking violin, that, to be fair. Another violin with a Strad label. This looks very like a manufactured trade instrument. Another violin with bow. This looks a bit more interesting. Nice back on that. Looks like a neck graft on that. Remnants of a bow there. 2 to 300, I think that will sell quite well. That's an interesting looking instrument. Evidence of head neck graft. Yeah, interesting looking violin from the front there. That's a curious one. Probably one of the better ones so far. Another violin, student instrument, together with some other instruments here and bows. Looks fairly tradey. Looks like a cello or something, like a smaller cello, is it? Yeah, something like that. Is there any other pictures? There's a few more. There's quite a lot of instruments here. It's a whole bundle. Lots of bits and bobs. Yeah, a bit of a mixed lot there. 80 to 120 could be okay. Another violin made by Derek Smith of Ripon, 1987. Has Nigel Kennedy was here scratched onto the upper front left bout. Interesting. 2 to 300. Definitely looks like it's pretty English made. And a bow there. Yeah, not too bad. 2 to 300. I like these kind of English violins. They're quite good. They're not worth a whole lot, but interesting enough. Another violin, 80 to 100. Fairly standard. More violins. Globe sticker on the inside. I think that's is that a Maidstone thing? I can't quite remember. 100 to 200 in any case. Looks like a trade violin, but not too crazy. The violin looks like just tradey violins, and a second violin there. More violins with a Armati label, 80 to 120. It's lost a bit of its F hole there. Looks like is that a real graft? It's hard to tell there. Probably not, but anyway, 80 to 120, slightly unusual. Another violin here with a Steiner label, cased with bow. Looks very standard, kind of trade type thing. Another violin here, reproduced by Dearlove, Leeds, 1864. Okay, interesting. 2 to 300. Interesting scroll there. This is an interesting looking violin. 2 to 300. It's worth looking at in a bit more detail. Another violin here. Quite a lot of them today. They do have some interesting things in Tennant. Sometimes it's just the photos are not always the greatest or most helpful, but they are a lot better in this auction. Another violin here. Head scrollers had number engraved, OS 14. Looks fairly standard. No, it's generic bow there. Violin bow, snakewood, ebony frog, 60 to 80. Let's see. It looks fairly nice. Snakewood bow there. Violin bow stamped Otto Derschmidt, 100 to 150. Couple of violins here. It looks like standard type stuff. And some bows, nothing too crazy. Picture's definitely a lot better, I have to say. Well done, Tennants, for improving your picture quality. This is helpful. Contrasts a little bit off on the cameras, but still it's an improvement, so I've got to give them credit. Alto saxophone here, René Guinot, Paris, 60 to 90. Another alto saxophone, Dearman New Super, at 70 to 100. Tenor saxophone, Yvette and Schaefer, buffet crampon there, 40 to 60. Tenor saxophone mouthpiece. Tenor saxophone New Super Dearman, 80 to 120. Yamaha YTS 275 tenor saxophone, 400 to 600. A collection of recorders, including shots and a dolmetsch. Okay, 20 to 30. Could be a nice little lot for someone. An oboe stamped Howarth and Co. London, 150 to 200 there. Selma oboe, 120 to 180. Regent clarinet, with loads of other bits and pieces here. Some little dinky toys as well. That's really quite an odd lot. 80 to 120. 2 wooden flutes and clarinet bits. Another strange lot there. 70 to 100. Faith Mars guitar, 300 to 400. Another Faith Mars guitar, 3 to 400. Ibanez custom electroacoustic guitar, 70 to 100. An Abbott banjolele, 200 to 300. Another banjolele here. Neck stamped Hawks and Sons. Interesting headstock on that one. A Cartwright banjolele, 100 to 150. The Griffin banjolele, 100 to 150. Someone's banjolele collection up for sale here. An accordion, Frenalini Italia, 41 keys, 120 button. An accordion, Soprani Settimo Castello, together with a Lacanal concertina in need of restoration. I was going to say, a bit strange to put in a concertina in a lot with An accordion can still probably sell quite well on its own, but you can see that it needs a bit of restoration. In any case, still would have probably put them separately, but anyway, there's an accordion and an amplifier there, and some kind of recording MIDI expander type thing. That's interesting. This is someone's like live street busking equipment or something like that. Curious. Lacknell & Co. Anglo System Concertina, 4 to 600 there. They always sell pretty well. Harrogate Concert Society, a collection of signed concert programs between 1961 and 1988. Includes Julian Bream, Nigel Kennedy, Janet Baker, Andre Previn, Jacqueline Dupree, and Benjamin Britten. Interesting, 60 to 80. Interesting lot there. Univox Portable Electric Organ, model J6. Jennings Musical Instruments there, Dartford, Kent. This is a sweet little thing, really. Univox little thing there. Yeah, it's curious. 100 to 150. Interesting looking thing. Edison Gem Phonograph, 120, 180. Good EMG Mark XB oversized horn gramophone, 1500 to 2000. This is a bit out of our range here, but we'll look at it anyway. A Thorens record deck, 150 to 200. A professional Tannoy Guy R fountain corner cabinet speaker, 3 to 4000. Well, that's fairly high end then, and I think that is it. Yep, that's it. So that is the end of the musical instrument part of this auction. An interesting little auction. I think there's a few interesting violins here. I probably spent a bit too much time going through the violin section, but anyway, I'll put a link in the description. Check it out for yourself, see what you think. Yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Ciao. Many thanks for tuning in to the Musical Instrument Investigator. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please like, subscribe and turn on notifications, and watch out for the next video coming soon.